It's Kahir the Conqueror here. In order to be a good teacher, a great teacher, doesn't it make sense that you have to be a good student, a great student, a bad student, unless they make some humongous changes? What are they more likely to become? A good teacher or a bad teacher? See, I've learned that you have to be humble enough to learn. Learning, and I just want to preface this by saying it doesn't just mean school. If you think the only time you're supposed to learn something new is in a classroom in front of somebody who probably gets paid and probably is underpaid to teach you something for how much time in a day, and they have like, can you really cover all of that stuff in the time? You get the point. That's not the only time you're supposed to learn. With that being said, in order to truly be receptive to knowledge, you have to be humble enough to learn. You have to be humble enough to submit to the fact that there's somebody who isn't some godly being or something like that. They're a person, but they have more knowledge than you. So, to a degree, their knowledge is superior to you. And that can be humbling, and it's okay. I put in another post. It's okay to not be the smartest person around you and your friend group, or it's okay to go into an environment where you aren't the epitome of intelligence. Because guess what? You learn. Have you ever heard iron sharpens iron? Keep cutting stuff with a dull knife. Is it going to get sharper, or something's going to happen to that knife? Is it going to lose its sharpness? To go to school, think of people who are most receptive to knowledge. Children. Before all that stuff happens to them, before everybody says you can't do this and your dreams get crushed and stuff, life happens, before all of that. Black children, brown children, Caucasian children. Go see them in a preschool. Go see them in kindergarten or whatever that's called from whatever part of the world you're in. How many of them are raising their hands? Ooh, 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 me. I know. How many of them want to know and share the answer? And they might be wrong as two left socks. But they're humble enough to know, I don't know. And they're fearless and bold and courageous and excited to learn and to try. So for me personally, I have learned that when you think you know it all, when you already think you have all the answers, when you already think, what can I learn from them? You judge somebody before they even gave you a reason to be right or wrong. You shot yourself in the foot. There was so much I missed out on because my ego prevented me from seeing or receiving and being receptive to knowledge. You have to be willing to submit and be humble enough to learn. You have to move your ego aside in order to be receptive to what they have to share. Another component of learning is you have to feel comfortable not knowing. You have to feel secure in the fact that you don't know everything because you're not supposed to. So if you have a teacher in whatever way, shape, or form in front of you, they're supposed to teach you. So don't be afraid to learn. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable to express, I don't know. How does that look? Raising your hand if it's a classroom setting, or asking a question, reaching out to seek out knowledge, because it's easy to pretend, but like I mentioned, who are you hurting? Are you hurting them by going to class and pretending that you know and da-da-da-da-da? When that test comes, they don't have to take the test because they did it already. You do. And for me, that wasn't the easiest thing to do, but it got to the point to where it didn't matter, because people who really want to teach you They want to share knowledge with you. They want to help you. And you won't offend them, or you won't make yourself look foolish or look bad for the right people. Now, I know that, let's say if it is school, or let's say if it is in your career field, or let's say it's in the real world, even family or friends, I know how people can make you feel when you express that, because it's a vulnerable thing to do, to make it known you don't know, to raise your hand, to ask a question. Sometimes you don't even know how to ask the question. To speak of some classes I've been in, some heavy science classes, sometimes the teacher is just spitting stuff at you and we're like, huh? It's like, when they say any questions, you're like, I don't even know what to ask because I don't even know. You have to be willing to be vulnerable in order to receive that, because if you don't put that ego aside, you miss out on stuff. You can learn from anybody. I learned from children, from babies. Some people cast them aside. It's some children that are wise, and they say something that you're supposed to hear. Your ego kicks it out that ear. You can learn from custodians and janitorial staff. Oh, because they work with chemicals and they clean, they don't have anything of substance to offer? You can learn from the unhoused and derelict populations, because maybe they made a mistake in life, or maybe circumstances that they couldn't find a way to arise from. They have no life experience, nothing of substance to offer you. You can learn from anybody. They don't have to be some master scientist, PhD. They don't have to be you get the point. But you have to be humble enough to receive knowledge from, number one, wherever it comes from. And number two, you have to be humble enough to accept it if it comes from a source that you're not familiar with.